It's that time of year when many elected officials give annual addresses, laying out the progress they feel they've made and the priorities for the year ahead. We've seen the governor's state of the state, the mayor's state of the city, and later this week, the president will deliver his State of the Union address. Yesterday, though, Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine was at Hunter College to deliver his State of the Borough address. Some of his key priorities: improvements to transit, cycling, and pedestrian infrastructure. He wants more public bathrooms to be available to New Yorkers, and he's joined an initiative with the other borough presidents to plant more street trees all over the city, especially in low-income communities. And last but not least, of course, housing.
For young people who have grown up in our amazing borough, your kids, my kids, where are they going to live when they need to move out from their family's home? We will lose the next generation of Manhattanites unless we address this housing affordability crisis. We may even force people to move to Jersey, God forbid. I mean, no.
God forbid. Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine joins us for more on this. You did get some laughs with that, but at the heart of it, though, is a very serious truth. Affordability here is a big problem.
Yes. First, great to see both of you, and great to see you in the anchor chair again, Jamie.
Thank you.
Average rents in Manhattan are now over $5,000 per month. This is pricing out not just low-income people, and it is devastating for low-income people. It's driving our homelessness crisis. But for a doctor or a nurse, I mean, even their salaries are not enough to cover some of these rents. The average rent for a 3-bedroom is $9,000 per month. The bottom line is,
you can find one at that even.
Well, when they do open, there's bidding wars. And of course, low-income people lose those bidding wars. There's no way around it. We have to build more housing in our borough. We're not building enough. Production has plummeted. And much of the speech yesterday was devoted to the question, what can we do to jumpstart production of housing, and especially affordable housing in Manhattan?
Yeah, so what can we do? You know, those are some of the problems, but is it more incentives for developers? You constantly hear people say, oh, I have to move to Brooklyn. Now Brooklyn's so expensive, got to move to Queens or Jersey, like you said. What are the solutions?
First, we need help from Albany. I don't think people realize the extent to which our fate is in the hands of the state government. They write the property tax code. They write the rent laws. They even have a cap on how big we can build apartment buildings in Manhattan. And between now and the state budget being due on April 1st, we have a window now to do something really big, to get a package of reforms in there that will protect tenants, that will jumpstart housing. We're pushing for that. We also have an agenda down at City Hall. City Planning has a proposal to change the zoning citywide. They call it City of Yes for housing affordability. That's not radical. It would add a little more housing in every neighborhood, mostly affordable units. Could mean tens of thousands of homes in Manhattan. These are all going to be fights. These are already fights.
Yes.
But the stakes are so big, we can no longer ignore this. We have a housing affordability crisis in Manhattan and New York City.
We do. Let's talk about some quality of life issues like the shortage of public bathrooms.
Yes.
People might laugh about it, and I know you know that got-to-go account. We've talked about that before. Any of our reporters in the field can tell you, any New Yorker you talk to has an opinion about this. You have tried. What is next for trying to get more bathrooms and more clean bathrooms?
Well, you shouted out the coolest TikTok account out there, Got to Go NYC. And Teddy Siegel is the brilliant woman behind it, and she was at our speech yesterday and featured there. We have a movement now to fix this. We've got one public bathroom per 6,000 residents in New York City. That is worse than almost every other big city in America. So if you've been caught out there, and we all have, it's okay. That's okay to admit it. There's a reason behind it. So we're looking for policy solutions. We passed a bill that would require a new public bathroom in every zip code, and that's starting to happen. We're going to have, I hope, announcements soon on that. We can fix this problem, but we're going to have to push hard.
I know transit, of course, another, topic that you talked a lot about yesterday. What do you think is the biggest issue in transit right now? Is it infrastructure needs that have in terms of, not only drivers, but also pedestrians? Is it subway safety? I know you've been out seeing a lot of those guardrails that have been added as part of that pilot program. What is the biggest issue?
Well, we have really a double-barreled crisis here, above ground on the streets, where congestion is worse than it's ever been. In Midtown to go crosstown, less than walking speeds. I mean, it's slowing response time for ambulances, police response, fire response. It is a crisis. Below ground, we have a subway system that is dramatically underinvested in, a signal system that dates to World War II. We have the oldest stock of subway cars in America and stations that are often in bad shape. We need more investment in mass transit.
Well, and you've been pushing for the subway platform doors for basically your whole tenure.
Yes, right when I took office as borough president, we had this horrible tragedy of Michelle Go being murdered by being pushed in front of a train. Other cities don't have to worry about that because they have screen doors which open and close when the car arrives. Actually, if you've gone to JFK, the air train has that. So we've done it in New York. We're calling for that to be installed in the subway system. Now there's a pilot coming. There are going to be 3 stations, 2 in Manhattan, 1 the 7 train at Times Square, 1 on the L train at 3rd Avenue. So I think New Yorkers are going to get a feel for this. Now, the yellow railing barriers are sort of a quick fix move, which have gotten, I would say, wildly divergent reviews from New Yorkers.
Yes.
But I think it's better than nothing. And I do applaud the MTA for trying that.
Well, we appreciate your work on that and all of these topics, of course. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you, Jamie and Steph. Great.